Okay, so good evening, good morning, everyone from whichever part of the globe you are joining in from. Thank you for joining us today and for this exciting webinar on the evolution of learning management system and their impact on the future of education. We have an exciting panel today who is going to talk about their expertise in the field of education and learning management system as well. So let's get started. I want to introduce the panel to everyone. Everybody has an idea where the industries, what they are coming in from. Uh, so to start off with, I want to introduce Mr. Gabriel Julian. He's a prominent figure in the education industry hailing from the University of West Indies. So Gabriel serves as a research supervisor in education leadership and management and brings a wealth of expertise in research and education leadership. Uh, Moving forward, yeah, we have panelist number two, Mr. Devashish Rawat. Now, it's an absolute privilege to introduce like him, who is also is a recognized expert in the education sector. As a founder of Plangami, Devashish brings a wealth of expertise and innovation to the field of education. We are honored to have you on the panel today. Uh, Moving forward with our third panelist, Mr. Sai Kiran Sondarkar. Let me quickly introduce him to all of you. So Sai Kiran is a prominent figure from the education industry, again, hailing from Let's Upgrade. Sai Kiran serves as a founder and CEO of the company and brings a wealth of expertise in the field of tech education sector. We are delighted to have Devashish to join us to share the insights and expertise. Moving forward with our fourth panelist, of course, Vicky Economidou. Now, she is a prominent figure from the industry, again, hailing from George Mason University. Vicky serves as an associate professor and brings a wealth of expertise in Python and analytical skills. We are delighted to have you join us today. So welcome all of the panelists today. Let me quickly move into the kind of exciting questions what we have lined up today and to hear from all of you on your expertise on the particular topics, right? So my first question, right, so I would definitely want to go to Mr. Gabriel Julian, want to understand from him, what impact has LMS had on the education sector, particularly in terms of accessibility and personalized learning experiences. So if you can give us your thoughts about that.
Thank you very much. First of all, I begin by saying my experience, LMS is dynamic. It is interesting. It is developmental. And as a result, it motivates cognition. It energizes the minds of students. In my experience, I have realized students are interested, they are keen in learning. So again, I would say LMS integrates, and because it integrates assistive technology and tools, it supports diverse learning needs through, well, of course, the UDL, and it underscores the pedagogical approach. In my view, I like LMS because of the numerous opportunities. It is adaptive. The various opportunities it provides for learners. Therefore, I can say then without doubt that LMS allows us as educators to customize this learning as mentioned in the introduction. I am a research supervisor. Nonetheless, because I use LMS, it allows me to customize my courses so that I can assist students. What is remarkable about LMS, and permit me for saying it, I have a very soft spot for what we call special and inclusive education. My master's is in that. And over the years, I have found that LMS is apt is appropriate, is adequate, because it looks at the special needs, the individual needs of students. Thus, it is interesting, it has different learning styles, and most of all, it is student focused. You see, long ago, teaching was more on the educator, what I say, what I do. So I would say LMS then helps students study on their own, at their own pace. It doesn't mean it would encourage them to be lethargic. LMS then supports diverse learning and it is accessible. It is abundantly explicit that it fosters inclusion, inclusive education. It facilitates asynchronous learning tasks, provides flexibility, learning opportunities by giving the learners, by giving the teaching and learning process that autonomy to move and go beyond. LMS then, in my experience, allows me as an educator to highlight the positive, the good, the strengths of students and build on that. Of course, it is transparent. So sometimes you see students say, I did this, I didn't do that. I said, look, according to what you said, according to the platform, you really didn't do it. When I put that remark, it was there before, and now you are responding. It is about 5-10 minutes. So let us not tell tales, you know. So sometimes we are able to track them. But that is not really the main purpose. I like that aspect because it is transparent. It encourages students then to take what? Ownership of their own learning. Moreover, they can monitor their own progress, as I myself can get into the LE, learning exchange, and monitor and say, look, you have not done this, you have not done that. You should have submitted this excuse before, now you're telling me after something is wrong. So it encourages me then to move with them and motivate and energize them. In this way, information, you it gives timely feedback. And in this way, information can be gathered, and we, as an educator, we use this information to foster personal intervention and assist them in this learning with LMS. And so I would like to conclude this segment by saying I am fascinated with LMS, and I think it is a possible way forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. Very valuable inputs over there on what's your thought about that. I would quickly want to drop a question to Mr. Devashish. So Devashish, with your of course, with your significant experience in the education sector and as a founder of Plangami, so you kind of bring in a lot of perspective into evolution of an LMS, right? So could you kind of share some specific instances or some case studies where you have been using LMS technology to drive transformative changes in the education institution? So what key outcomes have you kind of got or learned from those kind of experiences you had? You're on mute, Devashish. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank you for giving me this platform to, share my views regarding the overall learning management system. And I completely agree with Mr. Gabriel regarding the lot of inputs which he has already mentioned about the learning management system. Obviously, technology is playing a key role, and without technology in the going forward, whether it is in education or any other field, it is playing a pivotal role, and everyone agrees about that. From the learning management system point of view, from my perspective, we have used LMS for multiple instances, since we are also offering foreign languages through our platform, and students across the globe is learning different kind of languages from beginners to the proficient level. So one of the key aspects which we have come and in occur is that there is a great student engagement, as well as there is a great retention rate, which the students keep on learning within the ecosystem of learning management system. One of the points which Mr. Gabriel has mentioned about the adaptive learning, is also the key role, which we are also seeing that students are, pretty much coming forward and learning with the, and also the peer learning learns from their other,
Correct.
friends within that learning management system is also a great thing which is coming up. Next thing which I have come across is the data driven. Since a lot of students are coming from different background, and people are coming, the traffic is, coming from across the globe. So one thing LMS is also helping us is the data driven based decision making, that okay, which sort of students are learning Spanish language, or maybe students are learning inclined towards French language. So these are the two components which we have seen it. One another aspect is more accessible and flexible solution which the LMS is, providing to the multi stakeholders, not only the students but also the professors, trainers, as well as the staff members who are, putting content and, assignments or quizzes, or all sort of things behind the LMS, the backend structure. So
Correct.
these are the few components which I think we have come across. Another point is LMS is making, it is more affordable as well as customizable for the educational institutions, to offer such things in a quick span of manner. So these are the few inputs from my end. I'm sure there will be a lot more.
Yeah, sure, certainly.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Devashish. Like, yeah, so valuable inputs over there again. Like, so just wanted to understand from you in terms of your experiences on that. Like, yeah, so you have shared like some great inputs. Now, I quickly wanted to move to Vicky. Of course, like I have a very interesting question to you. Like, so you are an experienced educator. You share specific like if you can share kind of specific examples from your teaching journey at George Mason University, where the use of LMS system has had a tangible impact on student engagement and learning outcomes, right? So what outcomes or improvement have you observed in the students through the integration of an LMS? So yeah, please go ahead.
So thank you, Nadine, for inviting me here. First things first, and I'm happy to be joining this panel. So speaking about LMSs, and I have to apologize, I don't know, when I started teaching in 2009, we already had an LMS at Mason. So essentially, I don't have experience to compare to a pre-LMS period, because there was always an LMS in my life.
Okay.
But what we saw over the years, where LMS is becoming more user-friendly and them making a slow journey towards actually being intuitive. Now, in terms of LMS being there to really support students, and I am talking as, a person that mostly taught face-to-face to larger audiences. And of course, when you are talking about larger audiences, you are talking about audiences that also have, as it was mentioned before, a pretty sizable variance in what we call learning readiness. So essentially their background and how solid that was. So I think that the biggest thing for me using an LMS in terms of offering material and support to adult learners that are able to take responsibility and maybe also are willing to take responsibility of their own learning is that an LMS would allow me to actually offer material that was totally optional for the students. Nobody forced them to look at it. But essentially offering them this supplementary material that they could refer to. The trouble that you have in the classroom is that you always aim for the middle of the class in terms of level. And then you get the top of the class being bored and the weaker students still feeling lost. So the LMS helped me as an educator provide the supplemental push for the top of the class. So, okay, you want to see the more interesting stuff, go for it. Or, contrary-wise, okay, you seem to be struggling with that. LMS was there to support the students with this. And for that, I'm really grateful. And the students were ultra happy with it, because you also know videos, you can press that pause button, you can press that rewind button. So it helped them a lot, actually, work through it.
Perfect. I completely agree with that thought process again. Like, yeah, so you have different set of students where it is difficult to evaluate their performance. So it kind of becomes easier when you are using an LMS, which helps you to analyze where each student stands, right? Like, so again,
Absolutely.
thank you for those inputs again, Vicky. Now I quickly want to move to Mr. Sai Kiran. So Sai Kiran, as like you again come from a tech education sector and with expertise in various roles, I would want to understand like how have you witnessed the integration of an LMS system evolve over the time, right? Like to improve the education experience. If you have insights on that, on what key innovations are happening in the field of LMS, do you believe like there has been most impact for students as an educator after implementation of those newer technologies into an LMS system?
Yeah. How can I turn on the video?
Uh, just a second. I think you have joined in as a guest. I think that's the reason. Let me just quickly try. Okay. Can you try now? Perfect. Now we can see you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the answer is very simple, right? When we all guys started into edtech in India, uh, the question was very simple. Like, okay, fine, we all have to like make sure the student completion rate is on the higher side, and the distribution across India as being such a big country, and democratizing of education needs to be done in so many words. So with distribution in play, and the second part is like acha course completions, things were not looking bright at the very start of the early era of LMS. Now, as then came Zoom. Okay, then came Google Meet and Teams.
Yes.
Now, Zoom, Google Meet, Teams have been inherently built for meetings with closed door meetings with 10 participants, 20 participants at max. But when the next version of that particular thing in COVID times, all colleges, universities, everyone started implementing it left, right, center. The adaptation towards Zoom went big, but the completion rates and the teachers' ability to monitor each and every candidate went down every day by day. And that's where the LMS have evolved now, henceforth going ahead. Acha, we will track the completion rates to the next extent. That's where the current levels are. But what's the future? From an edtech perspective, we run an edtech with 1 million students learning some or other skill set. LMS have played a very key role in this entire thing, like tracking their motivation levels, tracking their completion rates, tracking their, are they understanding a particular concept, yes or a no. All these parts, LMS has played a very crucial role. And the next journey into this LMS world is not about solving for content. It is all going about solving for how to hack a student's motivation. That's where all these edtech entrepreneurs who are looking towards as a LMS are only all their product teams, all their innovators, thinkers, everyone is talking about the same thing, nothing else. How to hack students' motivation apart from just being the content people, because YouTube does content, Zoom does content, everyone does content, but how to solve the motivation is going to be the next play in the equation. All I have to say is that.
That's a very great input actually. Like, yeah, so how to keep them engaging has been a
It's
most
the game. It's the game.
Exactly. Thank you for those inputs again. So I quickly again want to go back to Mr. Gabriel. So Mr. Gabriel, if you had to give like one piece of advice to an institution and a business looking to harness the full potential of an LMS, like what would that be?
You. now you ask for one piece of advice, but as the other members of the panel were speaking, an idea came to me that all of us spoke so beautifully about LMS, but one has to keep in mind the culture of the students you are dealing with. For example, I mean, if I were working only in my country, there's only one culture, I can understand that. But sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times I have multiple students from various parts of the world, and I have to say, look, that's your culture, that's your language. Not only that, the time factor. I remember you were sending messages, and I said, yes, because when you asked me about this panel, to be on the panel, I said, 8 p.m. Singapore time will be 8 a.m. here. So I had to keep reminding myself and checking. You see, so sometimes that's 24 hours different. Sometimes I'm doing a conference with a student, 2 hours different, 1 hour different. So understanding the culture, the time, I think it is very, very important. Now, if I were to give some kind of advice, well, we could take that as one, the culture, understanding the culture. And also, I think we need as educators to listen attentively, to listen thoughtfully, to listen professionally to the voices of students, to arrive at what is going on. It's all well and good to talk about LMS. They can do work on their own. They are motivated. The minds are energized. Cognition is underscored. But we need to say, look, today we want to take a time just to listen to you. What's happening? Let me hear your life. What's going on? Of course, we're not getting too much into the personal. So I am passionate about listening to students so we can understand. Some of them, they have their various troubles, problems, and we feel that LMS can solve all of that. That may not be. Again, to perhaps the third piece of advice, I asked only one. So I would love us as educators, those of us who are passionate, to invest in LMS capabilities,
Okay.
focused on the experiences. That's why I say listening to the culture and engagement, because I feel when we invest more and more, then education is given its rightful place. Education becomes more dominant, and I feel that is a possible way to go. So I would love to value the culture, the customs at various times that people experience. Listen attentively, listen, please, to students. And of course, they need to listen to us too. Even we have to fight and quarrel, we do that in a professional, amicable way. And let us all try to see if we could invest more and more in the capabilities focused on user experiences and engagement. And so that students would be able to profit, to benefit more and more. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel, for those inputs again. Now, to add to that, right? Like, so I would want to quickly move to Devashish. Like, so we have like seen like what advice Gabriel have for like harnessing the full potential of an LMS. So with your expertise, I would want to understand what strategies and best practices like you think can be recommended to an education institution who is definitely aiming to maximize their potential in terms of implementation of a LMS system and stay ahead in terms of that rapidly changing ecosystem of education as well, right? Like, so in that world of education technology, how can they advance themselves?
Okay, so from my perspective, see, even we are also from the industry and we are already, working in the industry. I mean, like, I'm also a part of that journey. It's like I am also a panelist, but at the same time, we are also learning. Somehow, since it is, the things are keep on coming, new technologies are coming, and we are also learning on a daily basis. Since AI from the last 6 months, everyone knows about, the AI tool, sudden, a push of a lot of AI tools are there. So my set of strategies, or in my personal opinion, what I would suggest is that for any education institutions, if they want to, implement the learning management system, first they have to, set a clear objective of what exactly they wanted to achieve from that learning management system, because it's a ocean learning
Hmm.
management system. So
Correct.
there are a lot of features, there are a lot of outcomes from the learning management system. So the institution first have to set the clear objective, what exactly they are going to offer to the students. Simultaneously, the strategy should be such that all the stakeholders, whether the students, the learners, the staff members, and the trainers, should be having a proper training about how to use the LMS. I have come across a lot of trainers; they do not even know how to actually have that accessibility of using that LMS. They just know about how to go into the Zoom platform, click it, and that's it. They don't know how to use the dashboard. They don't know how to use the whiteboard. They do not even know how to send the assignments or how to grade the quizzes. Some of the staff members are doing it behind the curtain. So that should be not the solution from the LMS. LMS itself is a complete solution, right? So this is one of the key important point. Apart from that, the content quality as well as the customization of the learning management system, because each player is offering their different services to the students, whether they are from the same ecosystem of education. But since
Yeah.
I am offering foreign languages, someone is offering maths and science, someone is offering the Vedic maths maybe. So these are the different components within that ecosystem. And one more part is which I think a lot of people do not speak about, uh, is the cyber security within the LMS feature. A lot of people are from across the globe, and we speak about data, global data, and then protection also. So one should also have that cyber security features, with a lot of data are coming, a lot of data transfer, and a lot of knowledge, like information from the students, is also there. So these
Yes.
are the few things I would recommend from the technical point of view. Over to you.
Thank you, Devashish. Very valuable insights again, because
Thank you.
data privacy is something which, like, a lot of like institutions or like organizations are concerned about, especially like if we are from a different part of the globe, like they would definitely want to understand if the data would be taken out of the country, and like, yeah, what's the
Correct.
security over there. So that's again something very good point what you mentioned. Um, uh, Thank you. Now, quickly moving to Vicky, like, yeah, so since you have been somebody who has been, like you mentioned, using LMS for a very long time, from the time you have started, you said you already had a LMS on place. Again, like a learning management system offer various tools and services, right? Like, so could you kind of highlight us any particular LMS functionality that you found most valuable in the role of an professor, and how have those tools enhanced your teaching methodologies and or your student experiences?
So the very first thing would be to actually have an actual course template. And as you may well be aware, uh, most LMSs I've been working with, they have a sort of a clinical look. It feels like you're getting into some sort of database. And that's not what your students are looking for. Your students are used to things looking nice. Your students are very much used to talking to their friends on Discord. So a very solid chat system, asynchronous but solid. And essentially what I've seen over the years is that improving on those functionalities that your students take for granted in their everyday lives makes them engage more. So don't make it look like a database, but make it look something beautiful. Give them a video on the first page they see when they get on the course. So, and it looks more like a web page and not like, oh, damn, did I open up Excel all of a sudden? And then again, a solid chat feature where they know, okay, you know what, I'll put on my question and the instructor will come and answer. And I know I'm on Discord all the time, talking on my friends, right? And I know they don't answer immediately. So that's totally normal, but it needs to have that solid functionality. And I think that's what changed over the last, say, 5 years, that these things came forward, at least, in a platform that I was using, and that made the students feel more comfortable, more familiar with the system.
Great, again, like, yeah, to share those experiences. And I totally agree with that. valid point as well. Like the LMS should be kind of gamified again. So it should be easy or like fun for a student to actually come in and then navigate through that particular system, right? Again, I would quickly again want to go back to Mr. Sai Kiran. So I would want to kind of like, let's say, understand from you, because you are again deeply involved in the tech education space, right? Like, so how do you envision that future would change for LMS in terms of that potentially adapting to newer technologies, right? Like, let's say, for example, a lot of AI adaptation is happening currently, and a lot of LMS providers right now are looking to adapt or incorporate AI or generative AI into their system. So how does that trend looks like to you, and what are the potentials for that? Like, so like how that can leverage other or like can benefit the education industry?
There are three parts the entire education puzzle. Number one is the content part. The number two is the gamification, and the number three is all about distribution, right? But the number one thing, which is the content,
Yeah.
education has never been changed from, let it be 1800s till now. All we are doing is like the industrialized version of like education. That is what we have been following till date. Like one instructor is to 30 students, or one instructor is to 60 students, one instructor is to 90, 120, 180. That are
Yeah.
the numbers that we see in all these business schools, tech education, engineering, or let it be a physics wala. Anywhere you go, that's what we have been seeing right now in India, where the professors count is shrinking day by day, and the students count is increasing day by day. Having this piece in front of us, how this generative AI is going to change the education. It's going to change education forever. I'll just give you a thought process that will that is the future of LMSs, what all these LMS providers are going to work with. They will just take the context of each and every student, and with each and every student's context sitting in a LMS, the examples, the content that will be generated on the go for a particular learning path, that is going to be the future. So for example, I am a student in India, Mumbai, and I have certain experiences across my childhood. Or in my primary, I have done certain exercises, certain sports I have played. In my 11th, 12th, I have certain experiences. Embedding all these experiences, I have to learn Python, or I have to learn, let's say, a generative AI, a prompt engineering. I have to learn some skill. Taking the contextual thing, if it teaches me, that is like 1:1 teacher. Still, professors plays an important role in terms of like inspiring the students, but making sure the student understands a concept to the granular level in their own contextual language. That's where generative AI is going to play a major role. And I see that most of these LMSs, let it be the top of the top-notch LMSs across the globe, let it be the Blackboards of the world, or let it be even class.com from Zoom. Everyone is on the hold to like, let me just integrate this particular thing onto our systems. But who is going to be the winner? That we need to see. But one thing, winner is always the guy who will get the amazing traction in their platform. So traction is what everyone is looking forward to. But this trend is there. Everyone is looking forward to catch on this trend, and this trend is going to change education in a big way for the entire globe.
True. Yeah, that's something we are kind of observing and experiencing now. Like, yeah, that's currently happening as when we are talking currently, right? So again, thank you for those inputs, Sai Kiran. I quickly have a question from one of the guests. So they're asking like, what are the challenges and opportunities of using an LMS in a blended or a learning environment? I would keep it open to the panel. Like, yeah, anybody who wants to share their inputs and expertise on this. So blended and hybrid learning environment.
Okay, the challenges are very simple from the implementation side of it. System remains same. It is the same Zoom room kind of a system that remains in terms of LMS. But half of the class is somewhere sitting in front of the teacher in a physical classroom, and half of the class is online. So both the worlds, the virtual and the physical world, need to mix at certain point, and make sure the energy which is there in front of the professor, that needs to be transmitted back online. That is the number one challenge. Content can be distributed, but the engagement what a professor can create physical environment, that when the challenge is all about transmitting that kind of engagement online back. So that is the number one challenge. No one has cracked it, apart from just putting a webcam in a classroom and like looking forward to make a professor talk in front of it while the professor is trying to even address a mass number of students sitting in front of them. That's what everyone is trying to do, but that is not the exact solution. The solution is solution plus plus. The incremental part of this is something hiding in somewhere. Someone needs to find it. I don't know about it, but that's the challenge, number one challenge.
No, exactly. Yeah, valid point. I think those were like some valuable inputs from all our panelists. So we had some fantastic insights coming in from everyone. And like, I would definitely want to thank you for being a part of the panel and discussing your expertise in the field of LMS. I would quickly want to kind of like conclude this in saying that I like, so we actually have a learning management system which we have developed, and we also kind of try to play a pivotal role in shaping the future of education. So it is called Adroit LMS. So we kind of want to encourage everyone to go and explore. It is based on generative AI, and it's a AI powered platform which is revolutionizing education again. So it has all the basic, or like I would say all the features which has to be there in LMS, and it also comes with a lot of AI capabilities again. So all the conventional features plus the AI capabilities come into play. So we would definitely want to encourage everyone to explore and definitely get back to us in case if they want to understand more about the product, and if they want to like go through a demo of the product. We would want to encourage that. Apart from that, if anybody have to share any insights, it's open. But definitely, I would want to thank everyone for being a part of this wonderful masterclass webinar. Your active participation was something which was and contribution on these topics was truly enriching for all of us. And definitely would want to catch up again for more engaging conversations in future, wherein we'll have more interesting and exciting topics coming in on the similar technologies. If anybody have anything to share, like it's open.
Amazing. Thanks a lot for like inviting us to be part of this panel.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Devashish. Thank you, Sai Kiran. Thank you, Mr. Gabriel.
Thank you very much. Thank
Everyone.
you.
Thank you,
Great
everyone.
being here.
Thank
Have
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.